Greetings everyone, I'm Jonathan Bailey from the site Plagiarism Today, which can be found at plagiarismtoday.com. And today I actually wanted to issue a bit of an apology to anyone who visited Plagiarism Today yesterday, in particular right around 2-ish Central Time. Right around the time, unfortunately, my post yesterday was going live. It kind of cheeses me off in that regard. The site, as you might have noticed, was a little bit out of sorts. Right as I went to publish my post, PT had a pretty significant meltdown. I'm not 100% sure what happened. I'll tell you what I do know, what I did, and what I'm doing now to prevent it from happening again. But basically, there's a lot that I don't know. So we're just going to be straight about it. Basically speaking, Plagiarism Today uses a theme called Headway. It actually uses the 2.3x version. Headway, I forgot what the exact version number is. But basically, it's a third WordPress theme development framework, a lot like Genesis or Thesis, and therefore it's database driven. Well, the database suffered a pretty hardcore meltdown. I'm not exactly clear what happened. What I do know is that there were a slew of sleeping MySQL connections on the server, and it was basically jacking the server load way up, and my SQL server was completely out of sorts at the time, and because of that there was some level of corruption in the theme area of the database, creating a lot of pandemonium, and basically the theme got knocked out of sorts. Now I had problems like this back before the new year. And I'd gotten really good at dealing with it, because usually the problems would happen late at night. I associated with some other system checks, and I thought I had resolved the issues by completely doing a repair and replace of the theme database tables, and I was kind of surprised to see this come up, and I was caught off guard. So what I did initially was, thanks to the problems existing previously, I actually had a pretty good strategy in place for repairing it. I knew how to fix the problem, but unfortunately, this time around, the database issues, the actual issues with MySQL, went on a lot longer than previously. Usually it was just, it would flare up, it would corrupt, restart, and it'd be done, and then I'll just be left with a slightly borked thing, replace the tables of the theme database, be done in 5 minutes. It should have been that, but unfortunately the MySQL problems went on longer, and I'm not exactly sure why, so I couldn't just repair the theme. I had to deal with MySQL issues, and even restarting MySQL itself didn't seem to fix the problem. There was something on Plagiarism Today that was causing this problem, and I'm not exactly sure what. I'm trying to trace it down. What I have done is I have disabled all non-essential plugins for Plagiarism Today. There's only I think we went from 18 active plugins to 5. One of them being at Kismet right now. So yeah, we really reduced the number of plugins. Even the caching is offline temporarily. I'm going to probably bring that on later today and watch it very closely. But I'm doing that. I'm watching the server health very closely these next few days, and especially the MySQL health, making sure that connections are clearing out and there aren't too many connections lingering. And I'm doing all that stuff to try to track down what happened. Hopefully we've got this issue resolved. Hopefully this was just a fluke. I've got some beefs here with Headway that I'm not going to air. I might talk about that in a later episode. But long story short, I'm watching the database very thoroughly, hoping that this is a one-time thing, and that either that or disabling the plugins resolve the issue. It seems like everything's going good. Server load is minimal, even without caching. Site's loading very fast, looks good. All major problems seem to be resolved for right now. So feel free to enjoy your Plagiarism Today, but I will be watching it very carefully for the next few weeks. For the next few days at least, probably the next few weeks. Trying to get to the bottom of this. So long story short, if you saw Plagiarism Today yesterday, it looked a little borked. I'm sorry. Server meltdown. We should be back up. We should be fine. There was no data lost. Oh, that reminds me. There's one other thing I wanted to talk about. The other thing that should have theoretically fixed this problem was I have a continuous backup system on Plagiarism Today done through 23press. It's called Backup Press. And while I knew that was in beta, but it seemed to be working fine. It says it has all my data backed up, but unfortunately when I went to go do the restore did not work. So theoretically I should be able to restore to right before the accident happened, or whatever the blow-up happened, and that should have sort of returned everything to how it was. but the restore did not work. I'm also working with 23press to ensure that that happens. I do have backups of the database both on the server for quick copying of tables and offline too for quick importing. So I do have backups here too, but unfortunately those don't do a lot of good when MySQL itself is blowing up. So like I was saying, if you saw Plagiarism Today in that horrible state yesterday, I apologize. I am sorry. Working on preventing it from happening again, working with my host, working with 23press, and we'll be working probably with Headway too and others, try to resolve this. But in the meantime, thank you for your patience, thank you for your understanding, and I will see you guys tomorrow.